Most people have at least one thing they're afraid of: spiders, heights, the dark, public speaking, or even death. Fear is so deeply woven into what it means to be human that we rarely stop to ask what life would actually look like without it. Yet, there is a woman who lives that reality every day. In medical literature, she is known only as SM. SM has a rare genetic condition that changed her brain entirely, physically destroying the part responsible for generating fear. It wasn't suppressed or weakened. It was completely destroyed, leaving her incapable of feeling fear under any circumstances. She has been held at knife point without panicking and has walked through professional haunted houses entirely unbothered. She has held large tarantulas with genuine interest and navigated dangerous neighborhoods without a second thought. In every terrifying situation, she reported the same thing: absolutely nothing. There was no racing heart, no rush of adrenaline, and no urge to flee. To understand how this is possible, we must look at how fear works. Deep in the brain sits an almond-shaped structure called the amygdala. It is one of the oldest parts of our biology, shared with almost every vertebrate animal on Earth. Its ancient job is to detect threats and trigger immediate survival responses. Heart rate up, breathing faster, and muscles primed. Every system redirects toward one goal: survive. This process happens faster than conscious thought, meaning your body reacts before you can even name the danger. The amygdala keeps you alive by constantly scanning your environment. Now imagine that built-in radar system simply vanishes. That is the exact reality of Urbach-Wiethe disease, an extraordinarily rare genetic disorder with fewer than 400 cases ever documented worldwide. It causes calcium deposits to build up in soft tissue, and most critically, these deposits form inside the brain. In the amygdala, they calcify and destroy the tissue permanently. SM's amygdala has been completely calcified since early adulthood. Scientists have spent decades studying her unique case because she provides a rare glimpse of pure fearlessness. By all accounts, SM is warm, highly functioning, intelligent, and socially articulate. She is entirely aware of her own neurological condition and intellectually knows what should trigger danger. She can easily identify fear on other people's faces. She just cannot generate that feeling within herself. In studies, researchers introduced her to exotic snakes. Instead of backing away, she leaned straight in and reached out to touch them with excitement. Staff actually had to stop her from handling the venomous ones because she had no natural gauge for which were dangerous. Later, she told researchers she found the creatures beautiful. Next, they took her to a famous haunted house. While other people screamed, jumped, and held each other, SM walked through the environment in total calm. She even approached the horror actors to observe them, and at one point, playfully poked a monster's face. She found the experience amusing rather than scary. Researchers then tested her with intense horror films. While most participants spiked in heart rate immediately, SM's biological readings stayed completely flat. She could evaluate the scary elements analytically, but she felt zero emotional resonance from them. But this is where the story changes completely, because her fearlessness is not entirely absolute. In 2013, researchers found a way to trigger panic. They had her inhale a dose of carbon dioxide. This simulates a terrifying internal feeling of suffocation. Within seconds, SM experienced a massive panic response. She gasped, gripped her chair, and sought help. She later called it one of the most terrifying moments of her life, completely unlike anything she had ever felt outside the lab. This proved that the amygdala isn't the only fear pathway. External threats from the outside world are processed by the amygdala, but internal bodily threats take a different route through the brainstem. That secondary internal pathway remains fully intact. She can feel fear, just not from the outside world. Fear is a complex network with multiple doors, and losing one node alters the system but doesn't erase it entirely. Outside the lab, SM's life is equally striking. She survived situations that would paralyze most adults, but her fearlessness also made her highly vulnerable to predators. Fear serves as an essential social signal and boundary-setting mechanism. When we feel afraid, we pull back and establish personal safety boundaries. SM cannot send or feel that warning signal. She trusts strangers universally and without hesitation. This isn't conscious recklessness or bravado. She simply lacks the internal voice telling her to stop. This flips our fantasy of absolute fearlessness on its head. We imagine a life of total uninhibited freedom, but real fearlessness creates profound vulnerability. Fear is actually your protector, advisor, and early warning system. It automatically determines which rooms to avoid, and without it, you are dangerously exposed. SM herself sometimes wishes she could experience fear. This isn't because she feels a painful missing void, but because she intellectually understands its protective purpose and can see where its absence left her unprotected. Currently, there is no treatment or cure for Urbach-Wiethe disease. Once calcified, that tissue is permanently gone. She navigates a dangerous world without a biological compass, yet she continues to live with great clarity, connecting deeply with others. Her existence raises a deeper philosophical question. How much of who you are would change without raw fear? Think of every cautious decision you ever made. Fear quietly shaped your path in life, and without those silent nudges, you would be a meaningfully different person. SM shows us that our core humanity remains intact without it. You are still capable of joy, humor, and love, but you are walking blindly without a map that everyone else carries. She moves forward confidently regardless, taking each step without hesitation. So, the next time you feel a wave of fear, realize that your ancient amygdala is working perfectly. It is rapidly computing your environmental safety in milliseconds. That physical calculation, even when uncomfortable or inconvenient, is an invaluable gift. Fear is uncomfortable entirely by design. It forces you to pause, look twice, and reevaluate. Without that critical friction, the world gets significantly more dangerous. SM mapped out these hidden biological systems by revealing everything we regularly take for granted. Fear is a quiet, ancient, protective gift, one that most of us will carry our entire lives without ever truly seeing, until, for a few people, it stops.